I had this temptation this year not to speak about philosophy, but at the end of the day I kind of failed. So even though I was kind of planning to tell you only about some, let's say, material stuff, eventually I failed, but I think it's good. So today I will tell you a difference between restoring and destroying on the example of my new hobby. So when finally we were kind of, again, free people, so we left homes, I kind of felt this urge to find something new which I can do after working hours instead of sport. I've been doing sport for so many years. I already told you in last couple of years about sport and what you can do, what you can learn from sport. So my last year, I don't remember exactly, it's not important, I found on Facebook a nice course around chair renovation. So I thought, okay, I can try it out. My grandfather was a carpenter. I never tried doing that, but I was thinking, okay, maybe it is within my blood. Okay, I will just come to the workshop and somehow I will know how to do this stuff with the wood. So exactly this picture we can see on the left side is from those workshops, and this is the first chair I renovated. So since that time, I believe I renovated a couple of chairs already. I built my small workshop in my parents' house in Limanova. So I became kind of they call it in this carpentry world, a weekend warrior. So from time to time, I would say once or twice per month, I travel to my parents' house. It's around 4 or 5 hours by car. But to be honest, it doesn't matter because I know that over there, there is a nice adventure waiting for me. But again, it is not so important, and let me dig into details and you will understand in a couple of minutes what I wanna pass to you, inspire you based on my story. And there are two layers of this message I want you to remember at the end of this presentation. So let's start with the first one, very simple, transparent, clear message. Yeah, I already told you about this story. So again, this is the whole process, removing the old layer of the chair, the cover of the chair. Then after it's clean, you paint with a new layer, and then when it comes to the seating, the soft piece and the material, you also have to replace. So the wider message is that, of course, you can go to IKEA, and even though there is an inflation, the materials are more expensive, the chairs are relatively cheap, right? So for example, this one is 99 zloty, right? So if you need 4 chairs, it's 400 zloty. So what about versus restoring? And by the way, this is one of the chairs I restored recently. I got it for free, actually from my boss. So hi, Anita. And I just had an idea how to restore that, and this is the final effect. So it is relatively easy to just go and buy a new chair, right? So quick to buy, you just go there, small price, wide variety of choice colors and so on and so on. So it's pretty much easy. You just have to have money in your pocket. Yesterday we got the salary, so I'm pretty sure you can go to IKEA and buy a new chair. But there are also some minuses. Honestly speaking, when you compare a quality of the materials versus 10, 20 years ago, it's low. Let's be honest with each other, it is being built, produced, so that it would last only for a couple of years, so then you have to buy another one. Not very durable, and they are mass manufactured. So pretty sure if you will visit your friends, you will be surprised, oh, I bought those chairs last week, so then you know they are not uniques. So from one side it's very easy, from the other hand the quality is low and it's mass manufactured and so on. What about the stuff you renovate? So it's very durable, believe me. There are some chairs, materials, wardrobes made out of real wood or another material, and it can last for decades. So actually, when you start renovating that, you can discover a very good quality of, let's say, a chair, a wood. And when you renovate that, you can get a very unique outcome. So pretty sure that the chances of having a same chair somewhere around the world is 1 to 9 million, Slava, or even more. I would say even smaller chances of getting a same outcome when you are renovating that. Of course, there are some minuses, because when it comes to the time you have to invest, some money, if you have to hire a master guy to do it for you, if you can't do it for some purposes, it is relatively expensive. And of course, you have to have time to go through OLX, Allegro, or any other portal where you can find used stuff. And it takes time to find it. So why to renovate? So a couple of years ago, when you would compare pros and cons between buying a new one and renovating, majority of the cases you would just make a decision due to lack of time. So again, Piotr already told you how you can win this time. Costs and so on, you would choose a new one. But these days, starting from this year, there is a big inflation. So if you go to the shop, those chairs are getting more expensive, and it is not only about a couple of percent, because when it comes to apartments and the stuff you have to buy to fit in the apartment, it's even more. When you think about the quality of the material, if you think in the longer perspective, if you want those chairs to be also used by your kids, grandkids, that's another thing to consider. Really, it's way better to use some old stuff to be renovated. And when you think about, people right now wanting to buy all of this stuff in IKEA and shops, sometimes you have to wait for months, for example, for the stuff for the kitchen, right? So bearing all that in mind, right now, my suggestion and recommendation is that if you are having your own new apartment, buying a house or whatever, it's really very recommended to consider, instead of buying a new one, trying to ask your friends, post on Facebook that you're searching for some old stuff. And believe me, this is what I did a couple of months ago. And thank you for all the chairs I got. They are currently in my parents' house waiting to be renovated. They are really great chairs from early 70s. So they are already 40, 50 years old. So, and there is a unique outcome. So for example, this is the armchair I did. I got it from a friend. She wanted to be renovated. So this was actually kind of my first official, let's say, a delivery to the client. I got the chair. From the very beginning, I knew it's gonna be given back to my friend. So this is the final outcome, unique outcome. And by the way, the material I got by purely an incident. I mean, it was just, I didn't plan that. There was a guy on these workshops. I sold this material, so I asked him, can you sell me a little bit? And he just said, I can give you a little bit. So this is the very unique outcome. So that was the first layer of what I wanted to tell you. So these days, bearing in mind the prices, circular economy. Think about it, you know how to save the time. Don't fear, use the old stuff, just read how to check whether it's a good or a crap stuff, and you can definitely think about it. And there is a second layer, a hidden one, which I didn't plan at the beginning, so it's about the philosophy. I also found out that what is really important is the process. So, an example of this chair you've just seen. This is a step 1. This is a step 2. Then 8 hours later, this is what you get. So it really takes 8 hours to remove the old layer. So during this process, there are different emotions. There were inside me, like, it's better to give up, why I'm doing this, maybe I will give up, and this kind of stuff. But even though there are those emotions, you just forget about the time which is flowing, and 8 hours later, this is what you get. And you may think, okay, there will be another 8, 7, 20 hours to be done. Actually, this is the most difficult, the most time-consuming piece of the process. Then 2 hours later, you have everything painted, and then 6 hours later, everything is almost ready. And I'm pretty sure if I wouldn't be on the workshops, the last piece I would be able to do in another 2 hours. So all in all, the longest piece of the process is removing the old layer. And this is, I started 10th of November, and everything was finished 12th of December. So there is another thing which really kind of made me angry. I had to wait. I don't like to wait. I'm a very impatient person, so it was a very good lesson, and it still is a very good lesson for me to be patient, because actually I got this chair 10th of November, so I wanted this one to be ready on 12th of November, but it was 12th of December. Okay, I had to somehow bear with that, and it is what it is. So again, patience. And about the process, so I already told you what is important is patience. It is also trust that at the end of the day it's not gonna be damaged, and the final outcome will be what you would like to get. There is a vision, so you have to start with a vision. And of course, when you are removing an old layers, you don't have to have a vision, but if you start without a vision, you may somehow run out of energy, motivation, and so on, and then you will just stop and give up on this stuff. So you have to start with a vision, then you will have energy, motivation to move on, go on, regardless of some obstacles. And I already told you there are different emotions. This is a screen from a very nice movie I recommend, Inside Out. So emotions already covered. And there is something which is called in American English, I guess, true grit. So let me clearly and fastly explain that to you. It's about this kind of drive, internal drive to follow the passion regardless of obstacles and so on. So that's all I wanted to pass to you. So wrapping it up, there are two layers, the material and circular economy and the process. And when you are in the process, regardless of the emotions, the flow of time is kind of broken, at least in your consciousness. So you stop thinking about the time. And for me, personally, this is something which allows me to relieve the stress, forget about the work, and just enjoy my hobby, just enjoy the process.